make the girls go wild. I shut the whole club down. I make the loudest sound. Tell them you need my crown. Baddest of my hometown. Hey, try if you want.
Hey, welcome to the Fighting Skills Podcast. Today we have 3-time Emmy-winning journalist, weather anchor, reporter for Fox 5 San Diego, Liberty Zabala. Welcome to the Fighting Skills Podcast.
How are you? Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to talk to you and your audience as well.
How are you handling this COVID-19?
Well, I am just like everyone else, abiding by the CDC guidelines and the requirements as much as I can possibly by our local leaders about the stay-at-home order. Thankfully, I am blessed to have a job that's considered essential, working as a journalist here in San Diego. So I'm exempt in some ways, and I am still able to work at my station, but obviously we are at a skeleton crew right now, and even our station has modified the way we do things because of this virus. So we're doing social distancing. We're down to a skeleton crew, and we try as much as possible to do virtual interviews so that we're doing our part to stop the spread as well. How are you doing?
Really well. That's amazing to hear. So basically you guys are doing everything from online now.
Well, we're trying to do as much as possible virtual interviews. Like, for example, instead of, if we have to interview someone, we'll have to do it 6 feet away. So we don't get as close to interviewees. And then also, if we have to, we could even interview them virtually, like in a FaceTime interview. So we just see them on camera through their webcam, and they can just see me through mine.
I see you on TV all the time, always, getting exclusives from the people of San Diego. How are the people in San Diego handling this COVID-19?
Well, thankfully, a lot of them have been doing their part, which is very inspiring and heartwarming to see. And it gives you a sense of pride in San Diego. And thank you so much for watching, by the way, because people are staying at home. And that's exactly what our frontline healthcare workers and our first responders need people to do. Because if you stay at home, you're one less person who can get infected, and one less hospital bed. One less person infected, one less hospital bed means we are closer to defeating the virus, and that's so important.
Oh yeah, it is. That should be the number one priority. Are businesses still open? Are restaurants? Can people still get food?
Yes, people are still able to get food. That is one of the allowances in the order. You have to stay at home, but if it's to get groceries or food, everyone needs food. You can leave your home to do that, but it has to be an essential trip like that. And restaurants can't be open in like a dine-in setting, so you can't have people eating inside like you used to. But many of the restaurants in San Diego and across the country have been switching their model to takeout only now. So they're still preparing food, but you can only pick it up. You can't eat inside. So that's what we've been seeing with restaurants.
That's really good. As far as groceries and markets, are the markets fully stocked, or is it looking like it's depleting?
Well, every time I go to the grocery store, it is so eerie because you will see aisle after aisle just completely empty because people are panic buying right now and stocking up. And so the grocery stores say there's no shortage. There's no shortage of food. There's no shortage of toilet paper. You don't have to buy crazy amounts. It's still going to be there tomorrow. But people obviously are panicking right now, and they just need to take a step back and just realize that, if you do that, if you buy more than you need, you're making it more difficult for someone who may be in need. So if an elderly person goes to the grocery store and really needs food or really needs toilet paper, they can't get it because you bought it all. So I would just caution people to just think about your neighbor, think about the the other person who is in need as well during this time. And just keep that in mind when you're out there buying stuff.
Let's say that a family member goes out to buy groceries and all the essentials you need for a household, but they so happen to have a family of 10. You know what I mean? Does that person have to buy, the right amount that they need, or is it okay for them to overstock so they can reduce the chance of exposure?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. If you have a family of 10, then you're going to buy 10 things of whatever you need, and stocking up is good to keep you in your home. But I'm talking about the people who are buying just to buy, overly buying, and are not considering other people, their neighbor who may need the toilet paper or may need the food. But if you're just buying for your family and what you need for that family, then that's obviously what you can do and should do.
When this COVID-19 outbreak happened, Liberty, did you panic buy?
I did not. So I was watching the news stories and I was seeing the shelves empty, and I was very reluctant to buy more than I usually do on a regular trip. It wasn't until we were getting closer to the stay-at-home order that I started thinking, okay, maybe it should be time. It should be time where it's now the time where I should stock up a little bit. So for me, I only stocked up enough for 2 or 3 weeks, but after that, I haven't been buying anything as much as possible. I think it's important to also conserve your money because you don't know what the emergency down the road can be. And also, the grocery stores and all the stores and supply chains there say there is no shortage, so you don't have to be panic buying.
I definitely agree. How long do you think this lockdown is going to be for?
Oh goodness. Well, the president says he's trying to open things up by Easter, but you never know. It's so hard to tell when this could be over. It could be over in the summer. It could be over never. You just never know. It depends on whether we are able to flatten the curve, whether we are able to make sure the spread of coronavirus is defeated. So until that is happening, then we could be under this order for the foreseeable future. So who knows? But I'm definitely hoping and praying that this will be over soon, but it probably will be longer than we would like.
I know that you get lots of information, a lot of direct information. Have you got any info on what's going down in China? Is everything getting better or are things getting worse?
Well, the last report that I heard about China was that China was actually opening up or lessening some of the restrictions in some areas that were under a similar stay-at-home order. So it sounds like that's good news and some progress there. And there was also a story that I heard that China said that there were no more new cases. So that's some good news, especially when you hear that the U.S. surpassed the number of cases in China. So that's what we're hearing so far.
I know the U.S. outbreak is like really bad right now because they're saying that New York is basically the epicenter of this COVID-19 outbreak. Is New York much worse than San Diego and California as far as like the outbreak on numbers, or is it just all overblown?
Well, I think New York is obviously going to be more impacted. I mean, just think about it. Have you ever been to New York?
Never been to New York.
Okay, so when you're in New York, you are packed in. Everywhere is just crowds and crowds of people. People are basically on top of each other in that city, so they're more at risk of spreading the virus rapidly because there's barely any social distancing in New York because there's so many people and it's such a small place.
Oh yeah.
In San Diego, at least we have the ability to, we have everything. We have the beach areas, we have the inland valleys, the mountains, and the desert. So we have space here compared to them. But still, it's still important that we make sure we're not spreading it here either.
And how are you as far as I know you're engaged, right? Or married?
I have a boyfriend, yeah.
How are you guys handling this? Are you guys kind of scared to be close to each other? Because I know you guys work in two different fields. How are you guys handling this?
Oh, we're handling it fine. He's my quarantine partner, of course. So we're doing the best we can. We both work jobs that are considered essential to the government. So we do fall under some exemption there, but yeah, but we still, when we are able to, and for the most part, we're staying at home. We're abiding by the CDC guidelines because we want to protect ourselves from coronavirus, and also that we want to, do our part to make sure that we're part of the solution and not part of the problem. So we've been just staying at home, playing board games, watching Netflix, like I'm sure everyone across the country is right now, and just doing our workouts at home and just trying to make the best of the situation.
Definitely. That's awesome that you mentioned that, staying at home, watching Netflix, eating healthy. A lot of people right now are actually at home taking this as a vacation, drinking, smoking, having a big party. Do you agree with that? Or do you think that people should be actually eating the healthiest they can and staying away from things like that to not, tarnish their immune system?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you do drink and smoke, it does impact your immune system. So you want your immune system in this time to be actually very strong, because if you do get the virus, you want your survival rate to be up, not down. So I would recommend, just trying to be healthy as possible and doing everything you can to boost your immune system instead of destroy it.
I definitely agree. I've been watching the news, and I've been seeing a lot of COVID-19 cases where a lot of people that have obesity and are dealing with overweight problems are the ones that are actually catching this thing the most. Why is that?
Mm. Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about obesity, but I mean, I know that people who are elderly, they are the most at risk from this virus, and they are the ones who have been sadly passing away from it because they're at risk, and they have typically sometimes underlying health conditions. So I think that if you have an underlying health condition, you're more at risk of falling to this virus. And so I think it's best that you should do everything to make sure you're as healthy as possible. And if you do have an underlying health condition, stay at home where you're protected and you're safe.
So true. As far as like the checks that are coming in that Donald Trump basically ordered, people are not allowed to go to work. People are missing out on their checks. Some people got laid off. Do you think that the checks that Donald Trump's going to be giving out are going to hold up, or do you think it's going to, make the economy worse?
Well, I don't know. That's more of an economic expert opinion or question, but I mean, I think any little bit helps right now because a lot of people are struggling to pay their bills. They're struggling with a layoff, and they're also struggling to pay for their groceries, are figuring out, how they're going to live for the next couple of months because we don't know when this thing will be lifted. So it's an uncertain time right now, and that's why my nonprofit chapter, Asian American Journalists Association San Diego, we actually just today announced our stipend that we're going to help any journalist who's struggling with a layoff or struggling to pay bills because of COVID-19. And we're going to provide them with a stipend so that it can help them a little bit during this time. and hopefully, people get the word out about that stipend, and hopefully we can help someone even in just a small way. A little bit goes a long way.
I definitely agree. Okay, Liberty, this is your plug. Let everybody know what you got going on. Where can they check you out?
You can definitely follow me on almost every social media platform. I am at Liberty Zabala. All you have to do is type in my name, Liberty Zabala. That's my username for all of them. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So just type in my name and I'll pop right up.
It was awesome having you on the show.
Thank you so much, and have a good day. You stay healthy and be safe.
You got it. Take care.
I make the girls go wild. I shut the whole club down. I make the loudest sound. Tell them you need my crown. Baddest of my hometown. Hey, try if you want.